Hello everybody, welcome back to This Week at MBE. It's me and Biggs, Sunday night. So let's just go over some things we got going on. Biggs was filming, it's a billet intake manifold for a Dominator, small block Chevy right here. So you can see we got the first stop with all the roughing done. Of course we don't ship them out like this. And then you can see it has a lollipop in it up here, so it was finishing doing the ports here. So the ports look like they're just about finished, and it's nice. We don't have to go in a cartridge roll. You know, everything lines up perfect. And then the other thing with this is then it'll go on for Op 2, and then once Op 2 is done, then that manifold will look like this. So a lot smoother and everything will be finished. But we really enjoy doing the intake manifolds. I just want to promise everybody, the real reason we do them is not because of eye candy, even though that's just a wonderful thing that does happen. We do them because they make more power. That's the whole reason of doing it. And of course there's a weight. You can tell like this. I think anybody who's been around the cast manifolds and stuff, these are half the weight. So as much as 18 pounds. 18 pounds is like pretty common. So it's 18 pounds off the front of the car if you need it. If not, it's worth a bunch of power too. So that is nice. And our intake manifolds are typically shorter than everybody's. In our mind, the manifolds are too tall that everybody is doing. So the Big 9 is an inch shorter than the Edelbrock. This is an inch and a half to 2 inches shorter. The small block stuff that's available, the A460 up there, that one's probably 2 inches shorter than what's available. So we're not copying anything. The reason why we're doing it is because we're creating things that are better, and then that helps the cylinder heads. So, you know, if we don't have a good manifold, then the cylinder heads are only going to be so good. So we've put a lot of time in this, creating, no lie, I think we already have like 7 that we're doing now, and we did CAD on another 7. So we're trying to have everything for every application. So it's a big push and a lot of time that we're spending on it. But we're very excited about it. Very, very excited. It really should make a big difference because now it's a one-stop shop and you're getting quality parts. That's the most important. And then quality parts. So we have this over here. So remember, we do this in an LS. This is a small block. So we do this in an LS and a small block Ford. This happens to be the 8 degree. We've talked about this even last weekend, but the reason why I bring it up is because we do this in both. They do flow 500 CFM. Some of the advantages of this, typically in a small block, the intake valve length will be approximately like 5.800, 5.900 long. This is 6.400. And what that means is, at 6.400 long, that means that the spring pocket's been raised up a ½ an inch taller than any other casting available. So this LS and small block Ford version of this, that's why we can get the flow coefficients of what we can get. And the nice thing about coming here, we got so many different versions, different spark plug locations, different guide bore locations, intake and exhaust. We're not just doing one. We have an 8 degree, we have 2 10 degrees, we have a 12 degree, we have, and of all of those, we have 3 or 4 different exhaust ports for each one, 3 or 4 different intake ports. So you get exactly what you need. And what happens here, how the library grows for us, is if we don't have what you need, and we think we could sell more, then we'll develop it, and then we'll sell it. So you don't have to eat all the development time or anything like that. So, but yes, so in this 32 fasteners, it's a Jessel system on here, absolutely stunning, beautiful, everything about it's nice. And then the lightning package with the hat washers. Those hat washers are super hard. They will never gall, you'll never scratch one. That's the same material put in the top fuel one. So those things are stout. And we do these in water and solids. So you twin turbo guys, Pro Charger guys running methanol that want a solid head, we can do these in solids also. So pretty important there. And then we got I think that is the drag version. That's not a max pull, that's the drag version right there. And then we'll pull over here. There's some manifolds. So all these are in line for Op 2. So Joey will start knocking these out for Op 2, and then we'll have all these in inventory. You can see we ran a bunch of big 9s, so we have those in inventory. We have some Fords in inventory. So we're just trying to make sure that, you know, the whole thing is not to be the land of broken promises. So, yeah, as we know, cylinder head guys certainly have a reputation of being like painters sometimes, and we are doing our best not to be that, I promise. So this is just a set of max pulls right here. They're in line to be valve job. The guides have been honed and everything. It's got the soft chamber in it. So you can see there's no soft chamber in this side because it doesn't get any because we pull the chamber back to the bore. And one thing nice about here, for the max pull, we do a chamber for a 4.500 bore and one for a 4.600 bore. So whatever direction you want to go, we have power adder guys that like doing the 4.500. And then on the big 9, we only offer one for the 4.600 bore because we've crammed so much valve area in it that it needs the larger bore, or the exhaust will be too close to the cylinder wall, and they don't accelerate when you do that. So these are in line to be valve job. See, they got their clearances. So it's a big block Chevy right here. So it's 8/10, 8/10. So under a thousandths of valve a guide clearance for the valve on the intake, and then 1/4. And we have to go to 1/4 on the exhaust. Well, because there's heat there, so everything grows. So if not, you'll stick a valve. So what we found on the big block stuff, we go to 1/4, we're good. So that's 0.0014. And then on the small block stuff, we can go to 0.001 to 0.0012. It just doesn't see as much heat. So we just try to adjust everything. And anytime you can keep those tight without sticking, then the valve job will stay in it much, much longer. And we are very, very particular about that. Truthfully, the guy the most experienced in the shop is one who hones the guides. So that's not a little kid thing for us. The closer that is, when it goes on the epox to be valve job, the better the concentricity will be. So it's very, very, very important. And then here, this is a repair job right here. I promise you this was a hot mess when it came in, and it's just about finished. All we got to do is put a soft chamber in it, and we'll ship this back to the customer. So this isn't the porting that we did. We didn't update any of this. This is somebody else's work. So we will put the O-ring or the hoop in, whichever one you requested here. All the welding's been done. This thing it had a ton of weld in it. But you can't tell. I mean, look at the chambers. It looks, yeah. Everybody takes pride in what they do here. It's really nice. Did we talk about that? Yep. Okay. And then we're finishing up this job. This is another truck puller, or tractor puller. It's a puller. And then so he had some things. So we updated the cylinder heads. Did a bunch of things to him. The thing's going to run so much better. Pretty excited about it. And then the intake manifold didn't fit that he had on there. So we had welded all of this. Ian got the welding done on Friday morning. So from here, we'll skim cut this. We'll get this all flat again because this is a cast. And surprisingly, the cast manifolds are not heat treated. So when you put heat to them, they do want to twist a little bit. Won't be any big deal. Probably take 4 or 5 thousandths to clean that up. Not a big deal. But it's not like a heat treated cylinder head that typically hardly moves at all. So we'll get this in there. We'll get the ports the right size. We had to shrink them for this right here. And then we'll put epoxy in it. And the epoxy will stay. We've been using the epoxy. I don't know, I was using the same epoxy when I was at Sam Giannino's in 1988, so a long time. And all of that. And then this was an update right here. Bob's getting close to finished with that. It's a set of BR7 Brodexes. The customer had sent it to somebody else to get port work done, but they weren't cylinder head porters. No big deal here. And then, let's go here, Jimmy. And then once again, you can see we have the solid LS and Fords for the head that we talked about earlier in the video. So we have some Ford versions right here. So you can see we got names on them. So these are we'll start machining on this stuff very, very, very quickly. And the lightning package and stuff like that. Lightning package takes off about 8 pounds per head. If you're interested, some guys aren't. The one thing nice about it almost cleans up everywhere, so it looks like a billet head. It's very pretty. There's an LS version of the same casting down here. So a big advantage to that casting. That John at CID did an amazing job with these castings. Really, really good. We can make power with this stuff. And it's an American-made casting, so we don't have to worry about things, you know, because you do not want to get things from overseas, I promise you. You'll see some of that stuff out there, and we won't work on it because it is trash. Okay. And you can see everything's getting filled up again on these benches, and back here too, there's more stuff. As this stuff gets checked in, then it gets moved in the back, cleaned and moved in the back. But all this stuff is stuff that needs to be serviced. So if you're, or updated or things like that, or just valve jobbed, because the season is over, I suggest you get in here as soon as possible. We'll always get it done, but the sooner you get in here, the sooner you get in line. And it's nice, you know, when the stuff comes back here and we do it on the epochs, we can valve job them 20 times. They'll still make the same power if they come back here. And if they don't, you send them somewhere else, then we'll charge to get them fixed back up again, and it'll work out anyway, so it doesn't matter. I got a set of heads here with the blue tape on it. So this is for a power adder. So this is getting a billet intake, like a short one with the front mount throttle body, because they're worried about hood clearance and stuff like that. So we'll take these over to Hogan's. Jimmy will either Monday or Tuesday. We have Hogan's do that power adder stuff, things like that for the, well, for all the power adder stuff. It's a billet. If they're not using one of our billet intakes for like a single dominator and they're worried about hood clearance, then we have Hogan do all of that stuff. I mean, those guys are beautiful. Keep in mind, he's been in business almost as long as I've been alive, since 1972, so they know what they're doing over there. If it's an NA and it's a sheet metal intake, we do sheet metal intakes with billet runners. We use Dave Hughes at HRE for that stuff. But they both do incredible work, and they've both been in business for almost as long as I've been alive.
Tell them why the blue tape's on there, because somebody's going to ask.
Oh, the blue tape is on here, so not to hide anything or anything. I mean, Tim Hogan could really give a shit what we've done here. Remember, Tim Hogan was a cylinder head guy, though. I mean, he can do. He's a man of many, many talents. But we put it on here so when it goes over to Tim's, this way we don't scratch the deck. You know, it'd be real easy for him, you know, you got an employee or just anything. But this way, when the heads come back, there won't be any scratches on the deck and everything will be nice. That's all. And if they do come with the scratch, then we'll put them back in the machine and we'll take 1/1000th off of them. That won't change the CC enough to even measurable. So anyways, so all of that, and then you can see we got all our P1 fasteners. We had a bunch of them come in, so Dave's getting all of that and double checking the lengths and stuff like that. You know, Dave's just incredible, man. He just keeps everything nice for us and tidy. And yeah, that's
Talk
it.
about springs.
Oh, and valve springs. Actually, we have another, no lie, we have 25 more sets coming in next week. So that will fill up this whole corner. And we have more coming in here. So we're doing what we can, because last year there was some valve. It's hard to get some of the part numbers. Our object is to make sure that stuff can get out of here. When we quote it, we pull the valve spring for it to make sure that the stuff can go, that we're not held hostage by not having valve springs. So we are putting tens and tens of thousands of dollars. I would say we'll have 50 to 60,000 in inventory and valve springs here by the end of next week. So, but yeah.
That's my entire Christmas bonus up there.
Yes, God, hope we get to that someday. That would be good. That would be awesome. All right, anyways, thank you everybody for joining us. I hope everyone had a great Halloween and a wonderful weekend. See you.